Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. We are about to do a cooking vlog. On this cooking vlog, we are making some salmon patties or salmon croquettes, depending on where you're from. You know, that determines what it's called for you. But we are making some salmon patties today, you guys. Let's get right into it, you guys. I did not come to play today. So I'm using this black top premium wild Alaska pink salmon. Because I am in a truck, clearly, I decided I'm going to put it in the bag. This is how I'm going to mix all of the ingredients together. That way I don't have to touch it with my hands, but I can really still get into the groove with it, okay? So for this recipe, you're going to need your salmon, of course. For me, I'm using canned salmon. You're going to need you some eggs. Y'all, don't get on to me, okay? I did something really bad, kind of, sort of. So, Walmart didn't have the 6-count brown eggs, and you guys know I can only eat brown eggs. So, I had to finagle it, you guys. So, make sure you have some eggs. Breadcrumbs. Guess I'll just show you guys my whole little rundown. Breadcrumbs. We are going to be cooking the food in the air fryer. Some oil. Let's see, some seasoning. I'm going to toss some of this in there, my garlic parmesan. You guys know I love the garlic parmesan. I also found this plant-powered, spicy, dairy-free ranch. Okay, so when I left, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't get any mayo, but then I thought about this. So I'm going to be throwing this in there to serve as my mayo. So let's get into it, you guys. Should I pull this out? This is very raw and uncut. I bought 2 cans of salmon, but I'm only going to use 1 can for the night because your girl ain't trying to do too much, okay? So I just zip that, and I'm just going to mash it. This salmon does have bones in it, but if you guys have ever, you know, like, dealt with the salmon in a can, you know the bones are so soft, like you can eat the bones as well. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be eating those bones today, okay? So I'm just going to open my little bag. Going to crack me an egg and put it right on in there. Trying to decide, do I want to use 1 egg or 2 eggs? But I'll see depending on the consistency. So yes, you guys. So you know, per usual, when I do my little cook with me's, we start talking about a topic. So, you guys, I have something to tell you guys. Just put some garlic parmesan in there, a little more. I love the flavor. So I gotta tell you guys what happened last night. Oh my gosh, the top freaking came off on my salt. But I'm just gonna put a little salt, not too much salt. So last night, let's see where I was coming from. Where was I coming from last night? I really don't even remember, so I'm not about to try to remember. About to sit here and try to remember when I don't even remember, okay? You guys, trying to talk and multitask is not easy. So if I get stumbled, please don't think I'm slow, okay? I'm just a human, and trying to talk while I'm making food is not easy, okay? So cut me some slack. Right now I'm going in there with this seasoned breadcrumbs pecorino romano cheese. So anyways, I was coming from somewhere last night, and I was looking for a place to park. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm running out of time. I really need to find somewhere to freaking park at. You know, like low-key panicking, kind of, sort of. Just gonna go in there with a little bit of oil. And I came across a Love's. Gonna quickly interject. Before I came across the Love's, I went to a rest area and there was no parking there. Love's truck stop. So you guys who have been watching me, y'all know I love Love's, okay? I'm just gonna zip this bag and then I'm gonna mush it all together, and I'll see how the consistency is from there. If I need to add like another egg or not. But anyway, so I came across the Loves and I was like, oh my gosh, they're the Loves. You guys, I was so excited, but because you guys know I love truck stop. Like, that's my favorite truck stop. Plus, in addition to it being my favorite truck stop, I have a Love's card. So I get like free showers and, like free drinks, like all type of little stuff, right? So, anyways, as I'm pulling into the Loves, I am definitely peeping out, any parking spots. While you're mashing it, try to feel and make sure you're crunching those. Well, it's not really a crunch, just pushing those bones, kind of breaking them down with your finger, if you will. So, anyway, so I was like, okay, I see this parking spot. I see this parking spot. I'm like, cool. So I decide which parking spot I'm gonna go in, and then from there I began to get myself situated so that I can start this backing up process. I'm gonna go in there with a little bit more oil and a little bit more breadcrumbs. So I'm like, okay, so I prepare for my 90. I am backing to the driver's side like we are instructed to do, of course. So I prepare for my 90. So as I'm backing up, the truck to my left, which would be on the driver's side, is a flatbed driver. Nothing against them, just giving you guys the details. So he's a flatbed driver, and as I'm like, okay, before I started backing up, he went ahead and backed his truck up a little more. So I was like, okay, that's cool, that's fine, backing his truck up a little more, that does help, if your truck is pulled all the way forward, granted, if you're a good driver and you have the space, you should be able to still get in there. But it is courteous to, back up your truck a little bit if you notice, like, you could have went a lot further back, but you didn't. Go ahead and back up your truck. So that's what he proceeds to do. He's backing up his truck, and that is definitely what I want. Let me add a little bit more breadcrumbs, you guys, just a little bit more. So he backs up his truck, and then I'm like, okay, good. So I continued my backing process. Now, you guys, I'm relatively new, but not to toot my horn, I'm really good at backing. So this was not a close call by a long shot. I knew exactly what I was doing. I positioned myself properly, and I just knew that, this was going to go well, right? Wrong. So I'm backing up my truck, and as I'm backing up the truck, I hear like someone's laying on their horn, you guys, not like a quick little boop boop, no, like holding his horn. Keep in mind, it's kind of late at night. It's like, I don't want to lie, so maybe around, let's just say 10. Okay, it's kind of late, so people that are parked there are probably resting, like they're probably resting. So he lays on his horn, and y'all, in a jiffy, I put my truck into park, pull my brakes, and I get out and I walk up to his truck, and I'm like, are you trying to get out? Like, I'm asking him, are you trying to get out? Because if he's not trying to get out, I'm really not understanding why the hell are you laying on your horn like that? So he's like, no, I'm not trying to get out. I'm not trying to get out. I just don't want you to scrape my truck. You're scraping my truck. He told me he doesn't want me to scrape his truck and that I scraped his truck. So I'm like, when he told me that, y'all, I'm not going to lie, I just proceeded to continue doing what I was doing. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I want to make sure that this is like that burger consistency that I'm going for. I think so. I think it should be fine. So yeah, you guys, so let me add a little bit more breadcrumbs. Y'all probably gonna be like, girl, that's a lot of breadcrumbs. But it's a certain consistency that I'm going for. And I know it. When I feel it, I'll know it. So that should be enough. So, anyways, like I was saying, he's like, I don't want you to hit my truck. You're scraping my truck. I don't want you to scrape my truck. That's exact. I know y'all probably confused. Like, wait, so did you hit it? Did you scrape it? Or he don't want you to scrape it? Exactly. So, the same way that I'm repeating it and saying it on this video is the same way it was relayed to me. I don't want you to scrape my truck. You scrape my truck. So, anyways, I guess because I knew I didn't really scrape his truck, I was just like, look, if I scrape your truck, blow your horn, but I'm about to get into this parking spot. I don't know what his issue was. So I went ahead and, so yeah. So after I did that, I walked over to the other side of his truck to look at his truck. I didn't see any scrapings. And keep in mind, not only would I have felt it, but it would have been apparent on his truck because his truck was a light gray color. So if your truck was indeed scraped, I would have seen it and I would have felt it. Like, not like, most definitely, because I was taking my time. I wasn't rushing or anything. So, y'all almost forgot to add my little mayo. So, I proceed to get, so after I walk over to his truck, another gentleman meets me, like, right there. This older white guy. It's mine, you guys. Don't judge me, judge your mother. It's mine. Nobody's eating after me. So, the older white gentleman comes over and he's like, hey, what's going on? I was like, this dude said that I scraped his truck. Did you see me scrape his truck? Did you, like, hear anything? Because he was out there watching the whole thing and I didn't know. But he was watching. So he's like, no, I didn't hear anything and I don't see anything on his truck. So he was like, don't worry about him. Just go ahead and back your truck in. So I'm like, okay, thank you so much. So he proceeds to kind of like spot me, if you will. So he goes back there behind my truck. And I continue to back up my truck because I know how to back it. So I continue to back my truck. And as I'm backing my truck, the guy that I just had the problem with talking about I scraped his truck, he starts putting his truck, like he pushed in his brakes, starts moving his truck, like pulling it up, turning it left and right as I'm backing up. So I stop, and the white guy like rushes over to the driver's side of the guy. Well, the other guy is a black guy. So he rushes to the other side of the black guy, and he's like, hey, would you stop moving your truck? She's trying to back in her truck. So just wait until she backs it in. Then you can, like, move your truck. It's sad that another grown man has to tell you that, bro. But, okay. So after he tells him that, he stops moving his truck. So anyway, long story short, I'm able to back in my truck nice and smooth, and I was able to find me parking for that night. It was pretty late, and I was able to park at Love's. I considered it a win. Like, that's a win to me. So, anyways, as I'm like, I get on the phone, because at that point, I'm like talking to a good friend of mine. And I'm like, hey, you won't believe what just happened. Like, and I'm explaining to him what happened. He's like, oh, I wish I was there with you. I wish I was there with you. I would have did this. I would have did that. And, you know, we're going back and forth because we really both with the smoke. Okay. So we're like going back and forth on like, yeah, it would have been an issue if you was here, you know, just talking. And I didn't see where the white guy had went, but apparently the white guy had went into the Love's to like go pick him up some items or whatever. So the white guy ends up coming out and he walks up to the door of my truck. So as he's walking up, he goes like this. So, you know, we basically got into a discussion and he was just telling me, you know, he's been trucking for 40 years. He's not a super trucker. He doesn't believe that he's above everyone else and stuff like that, but he's just going to give me some tips. So he proceeds to give me some tips, basically like, you know, to prevent freezing and how I should have my windshield wipers. If it's going to freeze, to leave them like standing up straight. And then we kind of talk about the whole debacle that happened just moments ago, right? So, I'm going to pop this into the air fryer and then I'm going to come back to continue the story. So I got it on 450 and 5 minutes. Then I'm going to turn it on the other side. My truck is going to turn on because it's in battery mode. And of course that's draining the battery. So if it turns on, I'll just talk a little louder. So like I was saying, so he comes up there and we start talking about the whole debacle. And he was like, yeah, you know, trucking is going to come with a lot of guys like that. He was like, I actually think that he was trying to get you to hit his truck. Because of when I was backing in, he started pulling forward and pulling back. Like, it's as if he was trying to get me to hit his truck. And then my friend was saying, like, you know, he probably was envious. Excuse me, he probably was envious or mad. There are some men that are still in the mindset that women only belong in the kitchen type of deal. So he could have been that type of guy where he was just, you know, feeling a type of way because he's seen a woman backing in there. Or maybe perhaps he just didn't want a truck parked beside him. So him laying on the horn was like an act of aggression to get me to just be like, huh, and then just pull off because he's holding his horn. So the guy was like, I could tell you 40 years of experiencing different things. If you would have really scraped his truck, the first thing that a trucker is going to do if you actually hit their truck or scrape their truck, they're going to get out of their truck, either approach you or walk over to their truck and look at the area in which you hit their truck. But the matter of fact thing is that, you know, and I forgot to add, once I actually backed my truck in, I got out of my truck with a flashlight on my phone and walked up to his truck looking on that side of his truck. I didn't see any ding, any mark. His truck is light gray. So if the trailer would have scraped his truck, you would have seen evidence of a scrape on his truck. So, and he's seeing me doing this. So everything adding up shows that he was lying, and whatever he was on that night, he was on some other is what he was on. But whatever he was on that last night, or whoever pissed him off, he decided to kind of micro take it out on me. And I'm glad I didn't allow it to work, and I still parked my truck, and I was able to sleep really, really well, and I slept really amazing last night. So yeah, so the guy was telling me, like, you know, if you would have really scraped his truck, trust me, he would have gotten out his truck and he would have, you know, seen the scrape on his truck, and then he would have approached you about it. But the matter of fact thing is that he stayed in his truck while I was outside looking at his truck. You know, even if he don't just hop out instantaneously, the fact that I'm out there looking at his truck, if you really hit a trucker's truck, if someone hits my truck and they're out looking at my truck after I told them they hit my truck, best believe I'm going to be out there before they even get out their truck. But I'm going to be out there. If they're looking at my truck, I'm going to get out and look at my truck as well. You know, one of those things. It don't have to specifically go in that order, but it's either or is what I'm saying. And he did neither. So everything adding up comes back to he lied. And like I said, maybe he just didn't want a truck parked there. Maybe he had some type of microaggression because I'm a female, whatever it may be. But y'all, that's what I dealt with last night. That's my first time ever dealing with some BS like that. Someone that's over dramatic, extra as hell, and causing a scene for no apparent reason. So it was really nice to have that gentleman on my side out there, and just for him to like encourage me and basically vouch for me, like, no, you didn't scrape his truck, like, no. And if you did, he would have gotten out his truck. So you guys, my salmon patty is in there cooking up. Like I said, I put it on 5 minutes. That was my little story time. I'm gonna come back once I've cooked all of my salmon patties. Probably can get 2 more in there, so I'll eat 3 tonight. That's with 1 can, so 3 with 1 can. Then the other can I can make tomorrow or another day. I also have some sweet plantains that I'm actually going to warm up in the microwave after I cook all of my salmon patties. So I'm going to have 3 salmon patties tonight and some sweet plantains. So after everything is done, I'm going to come back and show you guys how it looks. By the time this video is uploaded, my daily vlog is going to be up, so definitely make sure you go and check that out. If you want me to keep going and putting out this content, I need you guys to comment, I need you guys to like, I need you guys to subscribe. I need it, okay? That's what helps fuel me and keep me encouraged to keep making this video. So I will come back to you guys once all of my food is done, okay? Alright, you guys, so the food is done. I just want to show you guys the plantains that I got. So that's by Goya. And then I'm gonna zoom you guys in per usual so that you guys can see exactly what we have going on here. So I actually made 1 patty, a small one, and I ate the whole thing. So I was like, let me just make this a large patty. So here's the plantains. They look so amazing. Yum, yum, yum. And then here's the, let's do a break. So guys can see just how yum, yum, yum. Alright. So you guys, that is the end of our cooking vlog. I'm about to dive in and devour. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts about the story that I told you guys about. And will you ever try this salmon croquette, this salmon patty, okay? Will you try it? If you try it and you try my recipe, let me know, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video.